Hello, everybody. It's time to level up. Today, we're going to get organized. Organization is a primary key in productivity. So, let's talk about getting our calendar together. So, there are several ways to do this. You don't have to use software or Google Calendar, for instance, which is what I use. You can actually use just a calendar and a grid on a piece of paper. You can use people refer to an agenda, like a daily agenda or a weekly agenda. All of that is it's up to you. But I think the important thing here is starting to account for your time. As the saying goes, time waits for no man. And that's absolutely true. Now, when we talk about quote-unquote time management is actually an oxymoron. Because, as I just said, time waits for no man. So really what we're talking about here is event control. Event control. He who controls the events in their life is not controlled by the events in their life. And yes, there is that saying that he who fails to plan plans to fail. Now, I'm not suggesting here that every second needs to be accounted for, and sometimes it is the case that you can have larger blocks of time that just accommodate the kinds of things that you need to be able to accomplish. However, at least having a framework so that you can accomplish the things that you want to, that's what we're going to deal with today. So with Google Calendar, I'm able to color coordinate and actually share calendars. Also, folks can share calendars with me. So people that provide administrative assistance for aspects of what I do week to week, I give them access to a calendar that has enough information for them to be able to schedule things. And then also my wife has access to my calendar. I have access to hers. So then rather than having some big big calendar on some sort of cork board or something, and then having to duplicate effort by writing things down, as soon as she puts things on her calendar and as soon as I put things on my calendar, we all have that information in common. So, the calendar is important. As you learn more about yourself, you'll become more efficient. You'll become more efficient at judging how much time you will need to do certain kinds of tasks. And this is always going to be something that you'll be reevaluating over time. It's not the kind of thing that you just try it one time and then you'll have it. Matter of fact, the nature of a calendar is that things will come up and it will cause you to have to make adjustments. So I will have blocks of time that are associated with certain activities. I have started to figure out, and this is like I said, a long process. I'm pretty efficient at telling how long it's going to take to do certain kinds of tasks. And so I know how to block out time for those tasks. Now, one thing that is important is that when you discover that you don't need as much time, to do a particular task, that you repurpose that time. If you don't repurpose that time, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up wasting a lot of time, right? So if I know that lunch only takes me 30 minutes, but I allow for an hour and a half, then potentially I'm wasting an hour of time. And since time is the thing that we cannot get more of, you want to, as much as possible, use every second of the time to your advantage. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why you want to have a calendar in the first place, to make sure that you're accounting for all of the things that you're actually doing. Now, maybe this is giving some folks stress. Maybe you're stressed out because, man, do I have to really write down every single thing that I'm doing? And I can understand why you'd feel that way. However, I think once you've actually sat down and done the work, it's likely that you'll actually feel less stressed, like right away, because you'll actually know all of the stuff that's there. And then therefore you won't have to sort of carry around a lot of baggage, and you'll be able to release valuable bandwidth, brain power. You won't have to be trying to remember stuff, right? All of the stuff is accounted for. All the stuff has been written down. And excuse me. And what you write down, you don't have to retain, right? What you write down, you don't have to remember. Yes. So, so I have weekly, or rather I have monthly calendar. Excuse me. And then I have a weekly view, and all of this stuff, all of my calendar is accessible on all of my devices. So I can get them on my cell phone, I can get them on my, my iPad, on my computers, and Google Calendar has finally, it took them a while to do this, integrated a sort of to do a task list. And so the task list is going to be something that you're going to execute. That's the stuff you're going to do in the blocks of time that you create in your calendar. I remember when I was doing my doctorate, I actually had accounted for drive time on my calendar. And in my calendar, you can put addresses for things so I can save time. When I need to leave to go somewhere, I can save time looking for the address. And I can just hit a hyperlink on my phone, and then it'll tell me where it is that I need to go. So all that information can be in the description of each calendar event. So, I mean, there's a lot more that can be said about this, and in the future it's likely that I'll do another video where we kind of get down into the weeds on this. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that. It's time to level up.